Welcome back to another Country Boy Bible Thought. I wanted to share a little story with you, and it'll kind of come together. The thought will kind of come together with this story in just a few minutes. Yesterday evening, I was driving up the road right at dark, and a big old raccoon crossed the road, or as we say around here, coon. Crossed the road and seen it going up the bank, and I got to thinking about hunting with a friend of mine. He was a excellent raccoon hunter, loved to train and run dogs, and I can't say that coon hunting is really my kind of hunting, but it's fun adventure to go on from time to time, learn some neat things while you're there. But I got to be honest, at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, chasing a dog is just not really my kind of hunting to do. But a friend of mine had a dog named Ty, and I declare that dog had probably the best nose I'd ever seen on a dog. He could sniff out a raccoon trail. It seemed like it was 2 or 3 days old. And before you'd ever let that dog out of the box, you'd have to put a collar, a tracking collar on it. And my buddy that owned the dog would have his receiver set with him. And every time he took Ty out, he'd make sure to take that receiver and tracking collar, because when Ty got out of the truck, he'd go sniffing around, and I kid you not, he could hit a track on a coon, and it seemed like that dog was gone in just a minute. You'd hear him, he'd be way up on the side of the ridge of barking, and next thing you know, you'd hear him way over on this side ridge of barking, and then wasn't long, he was gone. And after about 30, 45 minutes of listening and hiking up the side of them ridges in the dark, my buddy'd pack out that receiver set, and he'd go to look, and yep, here he is. He's this way. And it may be 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning before you can find that dog. And I said that with a little weight, it'll show up. Just bear with me for a minute. Raccoons and dogs are just enemies. They just are. And a good coonhound will chase a raccoon to the ends of the earth. If you ain't able to holler at him and listen for him, this, that, and the other, you'll lose that dog. He'll run and run and run, and you may spend 2 or 3 days looking for him. And a coon is a very smart animal. Raccoon is a very smart animal, and they just naturally don't like each other. And a good hunter, a good coon hunter, will take an old dog that's been trained good, and he's got a good nose on him. He's got a feel for what a raccoon's going to do, how he'll run up this tree, and then he'll jump way off and hit another tree, and then come down and try to change his trail up, and all kinds of tricks. He'll run up the creek to try to use the water to mask his scent, and just all kinds of things. But a good dog, a good coonhound, can find him. He can trail him. He might lose him for just a minute, but he'll be back on the trail and gone again. And when you get into a good hunter like that, he'll run an older dog and he'll run a younger dog. And he'll be training that younger dog because he knows that one day that younger dog is going to have to take the place of that older dog. So a good coon hunter will look, he'll find a good prospect for a young pup, and he'll start training that dog, and then he'll start hunting that young dog with that old dog. And that young dog will watch and learn and run with that old dog and learn and pick up the little things that older dog is doing. And before long, that young dog's running right with that older dog. And then eventually, you'll see that young dog go to taking over, and he'll be the one in the lead instead of the older dog. But now, when you get to coon hunting, a coon absolutely stays away. He wants to find a place to hide. He wants to find a tree to get in. And that coon will do everything he can. He'll be up on the side of that tree just as jumping as high as he can. Or he'll corner that coon. And a lot of times that older coon will be scratching and growling and just biting at that dog. And a young dog will run in all, big and brave, and the next thing you know, that coon slaps him upside the head, and the blood starts running out of his nose, and that young dog backs up. Hurry. But that older dog, if you look at a lot of them, they've already got the scars on their nose where they've done been in fights with those coons before. Now just bear with me, I'm getting to a point here, I promise. That young dog will back up and that older dog will jump in. And that older dog won't give up until that coon's dead, or until he loses it and the coon gets up a tree. But he won't give up. He'll stay right there. I've seen hunters that couldn't get a coon, and they have to drag their dogs off the side of the tree and just drag them back down out of the woods, because that dog won't give up all the way to the truck. He's determined to go back up in the woods after that raccoon. Now, what I'm trying to get here out of this story is Jesus Christ and Satan are enemies. God and the devil are enemies. And if you're a child of God, if you've been born again, you're an enemy of Satan. He don't have to worry about you if you're not saved. He's done got you in his hand. But if you're a child of God, he's doing everything he can to trick you, to confuse you, to draw you away, to pull you over here, to pull you over there. And before you know it, he's got you cornered, the dog cornered, and he's a slapping you around, and he's a scratching and a biting, and it's a getting bad. But God said that he'd already gave us the victory over whatever we're going to face in this life. And don't get me wrong, we're all going to face death from time to time, or somewhere in this life we're going to face death and we're going to face troubles from time to time. But even if we don't get the victory the way that we think we should get it, he'll always have a victory and plan for you. Sometimes it's just patience. Sometimes it's continuous joy in the midst of the storm. He just gives you that peace and that joy that abides in your heart and helps you to know that it's going to be okay. I've seen different Christian men and women that have died and they just go to sleep. It seems like there's no pain, no suffering. They just go to sleep. We've already been given the victory over everything in this world that we're going to face. And I was thinking about that coon hound and that coon, and to me, I kind of got the picture of that coon is like the devil. He's tricky and he's always running. He's always trying to get something over on you. He's trying to mess you up. But we're natural enemies. We've done been given the strength, the size. We've done been given the strong arms. We've done been given everything that we need to be the hunter, not the chaser, or not being chased. And as we walk through this life, so often we forget that we're not the one that should be being chased. We should be the one doing the chasing. We allow Satan to back us into a corner, metaphorically, and here we are letting that coon, that devil, just to beat on us and scratch us and bite us, and we're taking it. We're going, oh Lord, oh Lord. We're like a young coon, or like a young coon hound. We're allowing this to happen. We're trying to back up. We're trying to get away. But we forget we've already been given everything that we need to succeed. We've been given everything that we need to overcome. The victory of whatever we're facing is ours. That old coonhound don't think twice. He jumps straight into the fight and he goes to chasing. And when he catches that coon, he don't think twice. He jumps on it and he'll do everything he can to kill it. It don't matter if the devil or the coon goes to biting or scratching back. He's out on one goal: to conquer that coon, to defeat that coon. He knows he's stronger. He knows he's faster. He knows he's smarter. And like I say, sometimes we get like that young coon and we allow ourselves to forget that we've been given the victory. But we have the victory. Having a young Christian and an older Christian partner together is important, because that older Christian is teaching that young man, that young woman, how to live, how to conquer, how to overcome. Yes, we believe and we trust in Jesus Christ, but having that mentor that's already been through a lot of the battles that you're going to face is important. I encourage you to look to Christ for whatever your need, whatever your problem is. Look to Him. But also partner yourself with a good older Christian, someone that can teach you, that can encourage you, that can show you when you're doing wrong and can encourage you when you're doing right. Or sometimes they might just say, let me show you just a little easier way to do that. Don't worry so much about right here. Right here's where you got to focus on. Work on this part of your life. Sharing those thoughts and those ideas, tracking together, working together, loving and worshiping God together. Remember, we've been given the victory. Will you be like a young coon hound and every time the devil comes jumping on you, you want to back up and run? Or are you going to be like that older coon hound and just jump right back in the face knowing that you've been given the victory? Think about this and apply it to your life. I know it's a simple little story and it may not make a lot of sense to you, but for those of y'all who's ever done any kind of hunting, I hope that this makes a little sense to you. Reach me at any time at countryBBT1@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of these videos. Give me your thoughts. Give me your insight. Let me know what God's doing in your studies and in your prayers and in your life. Until next time, God bless. Good Lord willing, we'll see you soon. Bye.